usually?
It's usually because you're far away from the mic and I have to boost you up high. So it's okay to eat that thing. Like the more signal I get from you, the better. Just like that. Yep. 3, 2, 1, go.
That sounds better. I'm just all up in it.
Yeah, everybody, welcome to the Roundtable, where Templar is currently having a snack on a share MV7X. Or MV, is that an MV7 or MV7X? Affiliate links.
MV7 plus something. I don't know.
Okay. Affiliate links in the bottom there. No, welcome to the Roundtable. Currently in progress, obviously. Templar, it is 37 degrees here in Tampa, Florida, in November, and I don't know what to do with myself. You're wearing short sleeves. I'm wearing long sleeves. When did you get your first 37-degree day this year, in the year of our Lord 2025?
Hold on, I have to do the calculation.
July.
I don't know. I don't know what 37 is.
37 is
37's 2 degrees. That's cold, man.
Yeah, it's cold.
3 degrees Celsius? Not that long ago, probably. Probably October. I'm sure October sometime we had some cooler days, but that's chilly for Florida. Dang.
It's chilly for anywhere. I woke up this morning and opened up the doors for the dogs to go out, and the dogs ran out and then turned right back around and looked at me like, "Are you serious? Like, you want me to go out here in this? This is stupid. This is crazy." And
my cats aren't thrilled about it either. They usually both go out, but they still make a show of going out, but it's like they'll go for 10 seconds and then they're back at the door wanting back in. So,
Yeah, I get that. That was my dogs too. Like they ran out like, "Oh man, I remember." It's the object permanence thing. It's the fact that they just don't realize seasons and all that other stuff. But also, I just think it's funny that throughout the day they'll run to the door and like, "Hey, I want to go out and I want to go play." And then they get out and then immediately like, "It was warm. It was warm inside the house. I like it a lot better in there." Some of my favorite TikToks are the ones that are looking. It's the thing where somebody's like filming their dog just being like cute or being stupid or whatever, and the voiceover is just 150 or between 100 and 150 years ago, you would have been having to search for your own food. Things like that. Yeah, things like that. Like that dog wouldn't have been alive. But hey, that's not what we're here to talk about. Real quick, I wanted you to show off the Lions jersey to the camera. You've done this before, but yeah.
Sure. My boy, Brian Branch, came back, had a good game against the Commanders. I mean, it's the Commanders, so I could probably have a good game against the Commanders, but, hey, man, we take it. We take those W's.
I mean, Dan Campbell calling the plays, just a 30 second.
Busted out those old reading glasses and was reading that old play sheet, doing a great job. Dan the man.
I saw an interview with him afterwards when he was talking about the fact that President Trump was there. He's like, "Oh, I didn't even know the president was here. I was so busy calling the plays." It's like,
I fully believe Dan Campbell has no idea of anything going on outside of football. Like, Dan Campbell's a football guy, like the ultimate football guy. I would 100, like, I don't know if that's true or not, but I would absolutely 100% believe he has zero idea what's going on in the world outside of football. Like, I would have no doubt of that.
Yeah. I'm here with you. Outside of his triple venti Starbucks order, he doesn't know much. Hey, his heart's still beating. So, hey, we're not here to talk about that. The NFL. We can lapse too quickly into sports guy stuff. I kind of teased this last week on the Roundtable, and it's been a subject that has been brewing in my heart. And I think won Templar over to be able to talk about it. And it's the fact that Microsoft sucks right now. And maybe not just now, but I think Microsoft is going through a weird spot. Microsoft has made a number of choices in the last, 25 years, but really in the last year or 2 years that have not put them in the best light in terms of consumer sentiment, in terms of really hardware reliability and replayability, and really future for the future looking forward. And so I kind of want to talk through these things. Would love to just kind of have a conversation about these. We're going to be talking obviously about Game Pass. We're going to be talking about Windows. We're going to be talking about the hardware itself. But really, I think overall, this is we're in an interesting time, and I don't know what to make it. So first off, obviously what was it? 3 months ago, Microsoft, they have had this amazing Game Pass thing. But first off, I guess let's start this way. Have you ever had Game Pass, Templar? Have you ever subscribed to Game Pass?
I had it for a period of time. Yeah, I think there was a free subscription or a free trial thing for it, and then I did pay for it for a while. I just wasn't playing enough games on PC to warrant continuing to pay for it. But yeah, no, I had it for a while. Yeah.
So Game Pass, they revamped. Okay, this was a month ago. They revamped their Gaming Pass or their Game Pass subscription, and they added a whole bunch of things. They added Ubisoft. What the heck is it called? Ubisoft something or other. It's this
Plus,
image is not even.
It's
blowing
just
up.
Ubisoft Plus, isn't it?
Yeah, Ubisoft. There it is, right there. Ubisoft Plus Classics and EA Play with Fortnite Crew, whatever the heck that is now added. They added cloud gaming, which okay,
Sure.
their cloud gaming is what it is. I'm sure it's fine. I don't use it. Some stuff for Riot Games again. Sure, why not? And then some online, multiplayer stuff. And they increased the price from $20 to $30 per month US. How much is that in Canadian dollars? Do you know how much Game Pass is in Canada dollars?
I was just thinking about that. I haven't had it for a while, so I actually don't know.
Game Pass Canada.
I actually don't know what it went up to in Canada because games are already much more expensive here.
Yeah, here we go.
It's usually like $10 or $20 more for just a game. I don't know what the $33.99.
Okay, so which is still expensive. I mean, that's what 10% more, a 10% more, or 10%.
It's what $29.99.
Yeah,
in the US. So yeah,
roughly. But so, and then the PC one went up from $9.99 or $12.99 to $14.99, and then they still have the base one, which whatever for $10 a month. There's been a lot of uproar, obviously, as you may well know and may well have heard. The reactions to all of this has just been, I think, a little bit over the top, but also it has been warranted. You've had a lot of people, myself included, canceling their Game Pass subscriptions. We had 3 Game Pass subscriptions in this household. We had myself, my youngest son, who is 15, and then my oldest son, who's in college, well, just graduated college. He pays for, so myself and we all pay for our own, like we all have them. 2 of the 3 have canceled ours. Our 15-year-old, he's still on the fence about whether he wants to cancel it or not. That is a 50% increase. And for us, we went like, nah, like we're not going to do this anymore. The quality is fine, but it's funny. The Outer Worlds came out last week or 2 weeks ago. The Outer Worlds 2. I said, okay, I got one more month. I'm going to play it, and I got to tell you, the Outer Worlds. I don't know what it is, man, but that game is boring, and it is a run of the mill space RPG trying to be Fallout, but just with that edginess, and it feels boring. And so if this is the stuff that they're going to be putting out on Game Pass as day one exclusives, there's no reason for me to pay for it. A lot of gamers are canceling their subscriptions. A lot of people are, you go through Reddit, go through even this video dude here, this video that I've got pulled up, I'm seeing so many of these videos. The Xbox Game Pass situation got worse. Microsoft is dead. There's nothing is going to survive. Like the entire world is falling in. And I don't know. I kind of wanted to get your reactions to the Game Pass thing before we move on here.
Yeah, I mean, anytime there's a major price increase, you're obviously going to get a significant amount of backlash. Microsoft had to have expected that. The question for them, the analysis for them, I assume, is just that enough people will keep it, that with the price increase or with what they're offering, enough people will choose to either continue getting it, or maybe once the uproar dies down, people might even sign up later. Because it's part of the calculus. Like, they knew that there would be a major backlash when they did this. They had to know that. So that's kind of built in. So their calculus just must be telling them that enough people will keep it, that the price increase will be warranted. They'll make more money ultimately, which is their concern. And that'll be it. And I mean, if you're consistently playing the new games that they're adding every month and you're consistently using it, it's still worth it at $30. Like, it is. So for me, it wasn't worth it at $20, so it's definitely not worth it at 35,
Right.
because I just wasn't using it enough. But if you're consistently playing the games that are coming out, like, you can definitely still be getting your money's worth. I mean, as long as you're fine with the whole digital, like, you don't own anything,
Right.
like, format of it,
Right.
then that's fine. I mean, I can absolutely still see people getting their money's worth. For something like Call of Duty, even, it's probably, like, again, I'm not going to get it for this, but, like, for me, I don't mind COD and I will play the new ones, but it's not worth it for me to buy them, because I'll play it for like a couple weeks, especially if it's just me playing it. I'm not playing it with anyone. I'll play a bit of multiplayer. Maybe if there's a campaign, I'll go through the campaign. And so for something like Game Pass, it's not a bad setup, right? Because, I can play it for a month and then move on to something else, and I don't have to spend the money. So there's certainly still a market for it. Obviously, people are going to be upset. $360 a year is a lot of money to spend on a subscription service. I don't know how many different games people are playing regularly. So there's certainly a segment of the population for whom this will still be good and they'll still get value out of it. But for a lot of people, and whenever you raise a price, it also causes people to reevaluate something that either they might have forgotten they're paying for or hadn't really considered in a while. Like, I just got, my wife and I, we reevaluated some of our streaming stuff because we were paying for like 5 or 6 different streaming services. And what prompted it was I got an email from Spotify, Netflix, and Disney Plus all within about a month saying that they were raising their prices.
Yep.
So that caused me to be like, okay, well, and I've been paying for a lot of this that I haven't been using very much anyway, but that prompted me to do it. And the same thing would happen with Xbox. So as soon as they say, hey, we're changing things up, we're raising our prices, that's going to bring into focus like, oh yeah, I haven't really been using this that much, but I've been paying for it for the last 6 months or a year or like whatever. And I play like 2 games on it. Maybe it's not really worth it for me anymore, So there's always going to be a lot of outrage in terms of the like, Microsoft is dead, Game Pass, blah, blah. There's always going to be that because that's how YouTube works. That's how social media works. You're always going to get those responses. Is that true? I don't know. Maybe. Microsoft certainly doesn't seem like they're making a lot of great decisions. I'll say that. That's what we're talking about today. But that's how YouTube is. I mean, whenever a company does anything vaguely controversial, it's the end, they're dead, it's up in flames, we should panic, like rioting in the streets. Like that's always the response. So anyway, that was kind of a meandering answer, but for some people, this will still be worth it. For many, it's not anymore. They had this huge wave of people getting rid of it. I think there'll be enough people playing for it, or at least that's the gamble. Maybe their gamble will end up being wrong, but I think this was all built in. All of this was already assumed before they made this decision.
Sure. I think all of what you said is absolutely correct. I think it's fascinating that you talked about the Spotify, Netflix, and what else was raising a price within the month?
Disney Plus, I think.
Disney Plus, yeah. And so you go through and you do the audit. You figure out what you need. You figure out what you don't need. You tighten your belt a little bit more because, hey, I don't know if you knew this. The economy kind of sucks right now all over the place, not just in the North America, but all throughout the world. Like everybody's kind of hurting right now. But what I think is interesting is that I feel like this is signaling a priority shift pretty loudly from what Microsoft has been about. So back up a little bit. Windows 11 is now the official supported Windows version. Windows 10 is no longer officially supported unless you pay like $70 a year or for an extra year of support for Windows 10. Now, I think on the surface, like, yes, you have to move things ahead. You cannot stay with Windows 10, which was released in 2016, maybe. I don't even know. Windows 10 release date was 2015. Okay, yeah, so it's been 10 years. You have to move forward. Totally get that. However, Windows 11 did 2 really bad things. Number one, a couple of bad things, but the OS itself is just garbage. It is still just, it takes 3 clicks to try to delete something. It is riddled with ads. There are just so many freaking ads everywhere. There is no really, it's gotten worse trying to get around it. There's also been some very major Azure outages that have happened that when you rely on a live service Windows like you have, and you click start and there are just tiles that you cannot access because it cannot ping a server, that kind of sucks. It feels like Windows has shifted. This is the Windows side. This is not Game Pass side. It feels like Windows has shifted away from a platform for business. It's built for users. It is built for gamers and all this. It has shifted away from that into a place that is almost like the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, where we're just trying to upsell you on everything. And we're trying to get you into, what did you say? It's like $5 a month for Office 365? Or whatever it is.
Like that. Yeah, it's like $4 or $5 a month for Office. Yeah, every month.
And again, I understand that you have ongoing costs. I get all this, but for gamers and for creators in particular, this becomes untenable because you cannot continue to just be upsold. You can't continue, like the amount of streamers I've seen that have been playing that all of a sudden a Windows 11 thing has popped up, like an ad has popped up in the middle of a screen while they're playing from Windows, not from anywhere else, but literally they're playing and just like they hit a wrong button and then here's a Solitaire PC ad or whatever the heck it is. I don't know. So all of that to say, so that's the first thing. Their platform is just bad. But secondly, they have locked people out with certain motherboards, with older motherboards. You have to have a certain module, the TPM module. If you do not have that module, congratulations, you are out of luck. And again, I understand support, but it seems like a pretty hard line stance to try to get people into Windows 11. And I wanted to get, again, your thoughts because I have one more little thing here. But your thoughts on Windows 11 before we move forward.
Sure. I mean, for me, I'm not as, I guess, I'm not as much of a tech person. So for me, it's been fine. Like I have Windows 11. I updated it. I recently sold my old computer that wouldn't support it actually because it's an older motherboard. This one did. So I activated, I put it on because I kind of had to because 10 was running out. For me, it's been fine. It works okay, but like I don't do a whole lot really. So I haven't found it to be too much of a difference for my personal experience, but I know there's a lot of controversy around it. The going away from any kind of offline, because like with 10, I had it was the offline account, right? Yep. And basically I think it's still technically you can do it, but it's like they made it extremely difficult to do an offline kind of account now. And you have to kind of use workarounds and that to get that set up.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, in the subscription thing, I mean, is part of a larger problem because at some point, like something has to give with people. I mean, obviously we're talking about Microsoft, so that's one specific niche, but I mean, if you use Adobe, then that's all subscription based at this point. Then there's all the streaming services are subscription based. The gaming stuff is going towards subscriptions. Like it's kind of ridiculous. Like at some point, you're just so much money you're spending all the time every month just to keep basic things. Like if I didn't really strongly dislike the Google suite of like Google Docs and all that, I mean, like even now I'm debating even trying it, even though I don't really like them, because I'm just sick of paying like $5 a month to use Office when I basically just use Word anyway. Like, it's just, yeah. I mean, in terms of the controversy around Windows 11, I don't know. Like, again, for me, it works okay. Like, I haven't had a lot of problems. I get some weird errors here and there. That's kind of a pain, but it's nothing like truly that frustrating. And they've had bad operating systems in the past. I mean,
Vista
2000, Vista 8, right? They got some bangers in there, like 7, 10. 98,
XP,
depending if XP was great, if we want to go back a ways, but like, so I don't know. I guess my question would be like, is this a shift? Is this a different shift? Or is this different than other just bad operating systems that they've had in the past? Like, do you view this differently than like 8? Like 8 was bad. Is this different than that? Or
I think it's different than that because I think there's an overall arc that Microsoft has traveled. They went from, we're two dudes in a garage coding some things, and then, we're a couple of dudes, and then now we're selling Word, and now we're selling Windows, and now we're, selling all of these hardware. We're dipping our toes into the mobile phone market, and we're going to try this Zune thing. We're trying all these things, but the core of what we do is Windows and Word and Office, and so it was like this package thing, and it was this monster thing. And what I think started to happen was right around Windows 7 and Windows 10. And I'm not going to say Apple started to eat their lunch, because Apple has its own host of issues. And so don't hear me say that. But there were other things that started to eat their lunch a little bit. Google really started to eat into Microsoft services, particularly with Google Docs and things like that. Apple did really start to trounce it in terms of hardware. Like, you can say what you want about Apple hardware, but it is really, really good. Some of the software, okay, say what you will about that, but the hardware is really, really good and lasts for a really, really long time. And stuff that is supported by, that Windows supports, doesn't really last that long. I have never once heard of somebody having to reinstall Mac OS, but I routinely would have to reinstall Windows 10. About once a year, I would have to do a fresh install just to kind of clear the cruft away and then start over. Okay, fine. These are the things you sign up for. But what I think this overall shift is it's becoming user hostile. It is becoming a way to squeeze every last freaking dollar out of somebody that has any sort of key or any sort of license to a Microsoft account. One of the things I wanted to bring up was there was an old guy, Dave Plummer was his name, and this came out a couple days ago, or today actually. This guy said, Dave Plummer, who is I just want to read this. Retired Windows engineer Dave Plummer posted a video on his YouTube channel that explains why Windows 11 is garnering all this hate, while telling what longtime users have been feeling, but haven't actually been able to articulate properly. His take is a proper breakdown from someone who helped shape Windows throughout its most important years. Plummer argues that Windows didn't suddenly become bad. It slowly drifted away from the people who use it the most. And then he talks about all these other things. Loyal users started with Windows 10. I mean, it's a fascinating video to watch, and I highly recommend it. But what he says is Task Manager itself, the things that are happening, is now making Windows 11 a sales channel for other Microsoft products, which on the surface of it, okay, Microsoft, you go do you, man. Like, you go do you. You go make all your money. You do what you need to do, like, of course. But right here, Windows 11 is still the entry point for 365, Xbox Game Pass, OneDrive, Edge, Copilot, and Windows Store apps. Windows still brings in money through OEM licensing and direct-to-consumer sales. Great, awesome. But this was the key. When the OS suggests, hey, maybe you should switch browsers after you explicitly choose another one, that's not onboarding, that's just disrespect. That's what happens when you install Firefox or install Chrome or install whatever, and you get the thing that is still kicking you back to Edge because it wants to harvest your data, because it wants to put you in Bing, it wants to keep getting you. It's becoming overtly hostile to its users. And this is the thing that I think a lot of the people that are talking about, oh, Game Pass is dead, this is the thing that they're missing. They're missing the fact that even the hardware itself, like the Xbox Series S and the Xbox Series X, you can turn them on. First of all, the prices went up. Of course, you blame tariffs or blame whatever you want to, but the prices went up again. I think that's the second time, maybe the third time that they've gone up. Yes, the PS5 went up. I understand, so don't hate me on that. I have an Xbox right there. I have an Xbox Series X just sitting right there. Haven't turned it on in probably 6 months, but I have one sitting there. So don't hear me say like I'm hating on it. But on top of all of that, they also raised their dev kit costs. So people that are trying to develop, and then they bought a whole bunch of studios and then started laying people off from those studios. There are some pretty broad implications to that. I want to stop there, though. Have you seen this Dave Plummer video? Have you watched any of this so far?
No, I mean, I've read a little bit about it, and I've heard some of the complaints, and I've heard about that this person had spoken out that was involved. And I think you're correct. I mean, I see that how it's becoming less user friendly and almost the kind of openly hostile to the people using it, I guess, from a position of like, what are people going to do? Not use Windows? Like, because at some point companies will take advantage of their position, right? And Microsoft they don't have a monopoly. Certainly, obviously there's Apple, but if you own a PC, I mean, unless you're going to go to Linux or something, like, you're going to use Windows, right? There just aren't, there isn't options in terms of, for the average person, in terms of different operating systems. So like, what are you going to do? Right. So people can complain, and maybe Microsoft will take some feedback or make some nominal change to try to placate people. But like, ultimately they can kind of do what they want because they have such a massive market share that if you don't have an Apple, like, the average person isn't going to try Linux. I'm not going to try Linux. Like, nope. So what, there's not a ton of options. I mean, and they're leveraging that position and trying to sell to the average person, right? I mean, and they'll see all this advertising, they'll pay what they need to pay, because they just don't want to have the issues, and they're not going to probably look into a bunch of alternatives, such as they are. So it just means a lot more money for them. And again, that's like the Game Pass thing. Like, you make these changes, people don't like it, there's some backlash, but ultimately, what's the recourse for most people? Nothing. Yeah. So people will ultimately end up paying it. Like, maybe some more people will use Google Docs or something, but and move away from Words. They don't have to pay that, but people are still going to mostly use Windows. So, Microsoft is taking advantage of its position to make more money. So that's what companies do. And it sucks that the experience is becoming kind of worse and worse. I think that's indicative of a lot of services becoming worse and worse. There's a discussion of this idea that services in general are sort of degrading. Like, I've heard discussion about this in regards to Amazon, right? That like using Amazon used to be pretty great. Like, it was a pretty positive experience over time. That like they've just become kind of worse and worse over time. Microsoft is falling into the same thing, and they just want to make more money. So that's what they're doing.
I think that's exactly the overriding kind of, and I was talking about this to you pre-show, but I think we're at an interesting inflection point in the tech world right now, in the tech landscape. You've got Apple, Microsoft, Alphabet, which is Google, Amazon, really owning the world, right? NVIDIA in the hardware world, but really those four are still the big name players. OpenAI is trying to do something. Claude, Anthropic is trying to do something, but those are AI, and they're kind of like sitting in their own little sort of like bubble. You've got the four major players here in the tech space. All four of them are doing this. Nobody is innocent of this. They are squeezing their users for every last dollar. I am currently on an M4 Max MacBook Pro. I love this machine. This machine does not break a sweat. I can throw all of the 3D renders, 6K video. I can throw everything. I can play games on this thing. I can do whatever I want on this thing, and it does not break a sweat. I barely hear the fans turn on. It is the most powerful machine I've ever. It's more powerful than the gaming machine that I have with a 4080 in it. It's amazing. Yet I still get pop-ups trying to upcharge me for Apple TV Plus, which I already have. Already pay for it through my Verizon thing. Like, I already get it, so I don't for Apple Music. Again, already paid for in Verizon, but they don't know that. All they see is something. Amazon. We don't need to talk about how evil their model is, especially with AWS. And Alphabet, Google. Like, again, this is like the axis of evil. All four of these, right? They're squeezing the user for every last dollar. Their services are degrading, yes, to a certain point, but they realize that they have their consumers over a barrel. And I'm increasingly concerned. So Nilay Patel from The Verge, I value The Verge. I'm not necessarily like the biggest Verge fan, but I listen to the Vergecast every single week, and he has been harping on the fact that he thinks that the content creator sphere, the bottom is going to fall out here pretty quickly, because YouTube is going to realize, and it already kind of has, is going to start asking for TV shows instead of just like blogs and vlogs and all that. Like that, they're going to start asking for TV shows. So when people like Stephen Colbert retire or get forced out, when Jimmy Kimmel retires or gets forced out, they're going to say, "Hey, we're going to give you a couple $1 million to come over here and create a show." The professionalism is going to continue to level up. Meanwhile, the lower to mid-tier creators are going to be gone, because they're not going to have anywhere to go, because they're not going to be making the platform enough money. Again, a ratcheting up of this, like, we're squeezing people out. of the industry, and so of the tech space, excuse me. And so for us, like you and I don't know if you knew this, but like we're not super big on the internet. No offense to us, but like we're not super big creators on the internet. And we do this for fun. We do this because we like to talk to each other, and we like to create content for Lux Digital Church, the church that we are a part of and that we herald. But in the big scheme of things, like I don't see where this goes. I don't see this ending very well. And I guess I'm putting out this big philosophical question to you, but like, what the heck can we do? Like, what do we do about this?
Nothing.
Yeah. Take it.
Like, yeah, it'll just get worse. And then like eventually maybe there will be some breaking point, but like, it's amazing what people will accept in stages, right? You know, if you just step towards something, people will accept much more than you would think. And that's how it happens, right? So like you're paying for a bunch of streaming services. Each one of them gets progressively more expensive. And then over time, you're paying significantly more to it and you keep a lot of them because you don't want to miss out, or maybe you have some show you like, you know, but ultimately ends up really cutting into what you can do. And maybe the economic situation becomes such that you can't afford them anymore. But people will put up with an awful lot. And when it comes to something like Microsoft, which essentially has a monopoly, at least on PC users, there's nothing to do. Like you can complain, but like they don't care ultimately. Like, I mean, it's kind of bleak, but ultimately they'll just keep doing more and more until either there's government intervention, which would probably not help realistically, because the government has no idea how to deal with tech. And
they tried to.
They're like 10 years behind on it anyway.
Yeah.
Like the understanding of it is limited. I mean, what was it when they brought in the guy from Twitter and they were asking, the senators were asking about it, and they were like, do you need the internet to use Twitter? Like, that's the people you're dealing with in government. So like, they have no idea. They have no idea how to regulate it.
Yep.
And unless there's viable competition, there's no incentive for them to treat their customers better. And I think like the executives ultimately know that. And so they're just going to push it as far as they possibly can until there's sort of like an enough is enough. And will that happen? I don't know, maybe, but like, I don't know what that looks like. Eventually it will just become maybe too expensive and people will start to move away from it. Or people will just end up spending like 40% of their income on services of various kinds that they think that they need to get by in day-to-day life. So, and for YouTube, yeah, like it, you know, increasingly, I think it's difficult to make it if you're a small kind of low, even something like Twitch. I remember like Tim the Tatman came up as a sort of, he taped a camera to the wall and like had an extremely low production value stream. And over time, obviously he's really big now, but I don't know if you can do that anymore. Like, I don't know how often that happens anymore. I mean, Queso blew up as like a guy who kind of had a fairly simple kind of setup and has just gained popularity. There'll still be some. Yeah. So, I mean, there you have like the old school, pretty low production value. I don't know if you can gain a lot of popularity through that anymore. I think that's very challenging. I think there's kind of an expectation in terms of quality of content, quality of sound, quality of video that is not hostile maybe to new people, but makes it certainly very challenging for new people wanting to break in. Also, I think you have the problem of supply and demand, essentially, right? At least when it comes to content creation stuff, there's, you know, the jokes have been endless, but they're absolutely correct. Like the podcasts are like a dime a dozen, right? I mean, everybody has a podcast. Every athlete has a podcast. Like Indomitian Sue, I saw something, has a podcast for business, like entrepreneurship or something like that, since he's retired. Like, nothing against him. That was just something I thought of. Like, it's just every athlete has their own podcast. Like the Lions, who we both are Lions fans, that their players have two podcasts. Like Terry and Arnold has one with Pat Surtain, and St. Brown has one. So it's just like there's so much competition. And then, you know, I'm into the booktube space. And it's just like there's so many. There's a dime a dozen. Like, and I've thought about creating content, like reviewing books and stuff like that. But you have to do it just because you enjoy it, not because you think it's going to go anywhere. Because increasingly, it's less and less likely, I think, that it is going to go anywhere. This is like when people say that like movies have gotten worse, but like there's also more movies being made today than at any point in history. So it's like there's lots of bad content out there because again, it's so easy to get into content creation, but there still is good stuff. So again, this answer is a little all over the place. It's a big question, but I don't know if there's much recourse. Like for what these big companies are doing, there isn't much because we've tied ourselves to them so much. Like Amazon has so much power, Google has so much power, Microsoft, like they all have so much influence and so much control, and we've tied so much of our day-to-day existence to them that they can mostly do what they want. Like, and again, you can maybe have some government intervention, but that's probably going to do more harm than good long term. And I don't think they really know what they're doing in that anyway. So there isn't much recourse. I mean, you can try to turn away from it. You can try to like move away from some of the subscription stuff, I guess, and look into some alternatives. But like also people are generally kind of lazy. Like people will just go with what works. And if it's like, oh, okay, in the moment they'll say, oh, okay, I'll pay the $3 a month or $5 a month for this or that. And then that just accrues over time. And you end up spending like $100, $200 on different things monthly. And it really hurts. And but companies, you know, they want to make money, so they don't care. Like they just want every dollar they can get.
I hate to be painting such a bleak picture here, and I apologize to everybody for that. I think it's interesting. Two things. Number one, that Indomitian Sue is sponsored by both T. Rowe Price and The Athletic, which is crazy. He's got less than 10,000 subs on his YouTube channel for No Free Lunch, and he's sponsored by T. Rowe Price and The Athletic. Like, good on him. Go sure, get your bag. Go get your bag, son. Like you needed more money. Congratulations to that. Number one. Number two, my final question would be, what are the services that you think are right now out there that are extremely necessary for your life? Or the ones that you would say on a daily basis, like, all right, I use that and I need that one.
I mean, need is tough, right?
Okay,
like, do I need, but like that I use regularly, that I like YouTube, like, and I pay for you, like I pay for YouTube Premium, which I know a lot of people roll their eyes at, but like I use it enough. I use it pretty much constantly. Like that's what I watch far more than like Netflix or any other kind of streaming service. So for me, it's worth it for the money, I think. So that one, in terms of any of the other ones, not really. I mean, I guess I still get enough value out of Amazon Prime, like delivery and stuff, or at least convenience, that it's nice enough to have. And because you get Prime Video with it, I think there's still enough kind of value there to warrant it. Outside of that, I don't know. Like there's things that we watch. Like my wife and I revisited The Queen's Gambit on Netflix. You know, I like that. Well, I been watching the new Frankenstein movie. That's good so far. I haven't finished it yet, but I've been enjoying that. But like, I don't say I'm that attached to any of the others, really. Like, again, I pay for Word, and I'm a teacher by profession. So, I mean, I get a lot of use out of that, I guess. So I suppose I need it. I guess I could go to the Google side of things if I, just would have to learn that and kind of get used to the shift there. But probably I get, I don't like paying for it, but I feel like if I need anything, it's probably that. Outside of that, probably not a lot. Like I don't think I need many of the other ones, but those are the ones I would say I probably rely on and use regularly enough anyway.
I rely on my I have a Google Workspace account for business stuff, and so pay for that for a couple of users with that. That gets us a whole bunch of stuff. So I like that's a business necessity. Like we need that one.
Sure.
Or else my wife's business and my separate side business stuff doesn't happen. So there's that. And so I get all the Google Docs in there and all of that stuff. It's great. That works fine. We have a nonprofit as well that we've had for a long time that we've been operating with and on and all sorts of stuff when we started the gym. And so that's why I was asking you about the price for Office 365, because I get it for like $2 a month, maybe $1 a month or something with nonprofit pricing, which is great. The nonprofit exists, like we still do things under it, so it's not like it's a false one. But I also have with Verizon we have Apple TV, Apple TV Plus or whatever the heck it's called now, Apple Music, and the Apple One subscription, which is like 2 terabytes worth of data for our family and stuff, all kind of built into Verizon. So I don't ever have to see that. Do I need that? No. But that means I don't need things like Spotify. I don't need to pay for Netflix. I don't need to pay for Paramount or Peacock or whatever the heck else. If occasionally I'll pay for a service for a month or two to like go back and watch something. Like if I'm, The Office I have on Plex, but like to just sign up for a month or two to watch things and then get rid of it. But that's it. Like there's nothing necessary here. And yet there's just so much stuff, man. There's just so many of these things that I just like, oh, did we sign up for that? Oh crap, we did sign up for that. Oh man, we got to do that. And that's how they get you, man. It's just the price is just enough to be like it's just death by 1,000 cuts, man. And I think we're in this weird inflection point, and I would love to see in the next 2 to 3 years our life or our society push back on subscriptions and to see what that actually look like. I don't know that it's going to happen, but we're already in this turmoil right now with tons of people losing their jobs in the tech sector and with a lot of weirdness happening with the economy that like maybe at a certain point, all of these people just say like, no, this is stupid. Like there's a reason piracy is going up. There's a reason no, this is dumb. We're not having this. So anyway, we could bloviate on this for forever, but the core of this was the Microsoft chat. Anything to add about all of this talk before I hit this finish button and go cry into my Cheerios?
I guess, like, what do you think? I mean, because we didn't even talk about the fact that apparently the next Xbox is supposed to be like between $800 and $1,200.
Yep, that's true.
That they want to do this sort of combined PC and console thing, which I mean, modern ones already sort of are anyway, but Microsoft in specific has really been moving to this. Game Pass is obviously on PC and like bringing stuff to Steam and like, so I mean, at some point it does raise the question of, is a Microsoft console just redundant then? Like, is it just for people who don't game on PC, so you buy this other thing and then it's kind of a combined PC and console? Like, is there enough of a market there for that? Like, does Microsoft really even have a future in hardware, the hardware side of things? Because Sony seems to be content enough to stay within the console. I mean, obviously I think there's some PlayStation stuff on like PC and like there's some crossover there, but it seems like they've mostly wanted to keep a console, and like the PS6, from my understanding, is just like they're going to have more PC features, I suppose, but I think they're keeping it enough of its own thing that there's a market for that. I don't know if there's a market for what Microsoft wants to do, because I don't know if there's a demand for that, because at that point, just have a PC then. Like, I don't know if there's a market for a hybrid PC console thing that they want to sell when everything available on Xbox is just already available on PC anyway. So I guess that would be my final.
Here's the interesting thing. What is it called? Next portable console. I want to show you something. Let me switch back over to this other camera. It was not that. It is. Where art thou? Watch on the YouTubes. Next portable console. So this is a fantastic podcast. Highly recommend. It's a bunch of nerds. It's these three nerds, John, and then this guy Brendan, and then this guy Federico, and they talk about portable consoles and like handheld consoles and all this other stuff. But what they were talking about, are you just not gonna show me what the thing is called? Is it just you're not gonna show me what the actual thing is called? Retroid design. Maybe it's this one here. Game something, right? It's called Game something. Anyway, there is an actual service that you can just play Steam games on a handheld and with handheld chipsets, which is awesome. What I see happening is Microsoft is going to take a big swing on this $1,200 thing. When you have these B-Link PCs, mini PCs, with essentially chipsets that are being put into these portable consoles, and these things are $150, $200. I've got one like sitting in the closet over there next to a Mac Mini. They're great. I use them for like home server stuff. They're awesome. Put a bunch of like cheap hard drives next to them. They're great. What I see happening in the next 5 years is people using these chipsets like this, putting them in their living rooms and using this with their Steam library to just play freaking PC games on this thing, emulate it on this thing. You hook a couple of Bluetooth controllers up, you hook a Bluetooth keyboard and mouse up, you sit on your couch, you have all the benefits of a PC, so you can watch Netflix, you can do all the things you want to do. Plus, then you just flip into game mode, and then there's the Steam thing, just all your things are installed, and you're playing Steam games. Is it like 1440p or 4K? No, it's not. It's going to be 1080p, probably 30 to 40 frames a second, but like at a fraction of the cost, like literally a third of the cost all in with games versus, and then you have this entire Steam library versus this $1,200 Xbox monstrosity that all you get are the games that Xbox has that Microsoft has gate kept for the console, and this translates over to Sony too. You don't even really get first party games anymore because Microsoft is now just releasing all its stuff. Just like, I don't know, you want to put it on a phone, you want to put it in a Tesla, like go ahead, put it in a Tesla. Who cares? Like you want the new Outer Worlds, so you get Outer Worlds and you get Master Chief and whatever you want. It's frustrating, and I didn't want to get angry about this, but like it is me being like an old school Halo, like competitive Halo guy, seeing Master Chief on a PlayStation is like, I don't know how that's going to feel. I'm sure it'll be fine, but like there's an automatic like, wait, that's the Final Fantasy console. What are you doing? So there's that, but that's what I see happening. Like exactly what these dudes are talking about on handhelds, just translating to the living room. And I think it'd be awesome. Honestly, if I could go put my PC and I could teach my wife, hey, here's the 3 buttons you have to hit to like watch Netflix or watch whatever you want to watch. Like, cool. Yeah. Like she would love that. So that's where I stand.
Yeah. I don't think it's going to work out for them. I don't know if that gamble is going to pay off for Microsoft. So the next generation of consoles is just going to be, such as it is, will be interesting to see what kind of shakes out, because we don't know that much about the PS6 either. But yeah, I don't know if Microsoft's gamble with it is going to go particularly well. So we'll have to see. But there's a lot of questions about it.
It's called GameHub, by the way, GameSir GameHub, and it is amazing. Now it's for Android things, but essentially, and it's open source. So you just open source this thing and like you put it on whatever thing you want, and then it just runs, man. Like it like these guys are playing they're playing Ball Pit and they're playing Yakuza 0 and they're playing like Hades 2 on like these little emulators. And all it's doing is just it's running off the CPU natively, but it's a translation layer and it's just doing it. And it's like we have entered this world where an open source means like it's free, and is it going to stay free forever? Probably not. But like right now, we're living in the golden age, man. In terms of that. So anyway, I'm rambling. I agree with you. I don't think it's going to work out very well. I honestly don't think it's going to work out for Sony very well either. I think Sony still has a leg up because they have a purity of first party games that they haven't really put. I mean, they put some of their things on PC, but it's like they have timed exclusives and they have a year and yada yada yada. And so like Ghost of Yote will be out in 8 months on PC, and that'll be like maybe when I play it, because I'm not gonna go buy a PlayStation and just to play Ghost of Yote. Sorry to everybody out there. I don't know. I am not optimistic about the future in terms of that. And that sucks. I hate that.
It's funny how the narrative changes, because about, I don't know, a year ago, maybe it was Sony who was the one who were looking particularly bad. Like they jacked up the price of PlayStation Plus pretty significantly.
Yep.
And I canceled it when they did that. Like I canceled mine because it became not really worth it for me anymore. But over the course of the next year, all the decisions Microsoft has made has basically put them below. For a while, it was just, Sony was the one that seemed to be making the wrong decisions, and everyone was praising Game Pass and their decision making around their gaming side of things. And now it's funny how much of a difference 1 year makes in the narrative.
That is a freaking great point, dude. I didn't even think of that. That is great. All right. I think we need to go take a breath. I need to go take a cold shower and just like calm down a little bit. This has been your gaming nerd moment. We'll be back next week with something probably particularly a little bit more fun and a little bit less down than this. Also, I was supposed to be flying to Chicago next week, and I don't know if you heard, but the United States airline situation is pretty bad. So there's a solid chance I'm not going to Chicago. There was something like 3,000 flights canceled yesterday. There was something like 2,300 flights canceled the day before. Pretty much all of the flights that I would be taking in and out of Chicago are canceled as of the last 2 days. Now, granted, it's a week, but also even if they sign to stop this government shutdown bill tomorrow, all of the reports are it's going to take like a month to get everything untangled. So I might be here with you next Tuesday to record, Templar. There we go. Thank you to the government.
Silver linings.
Yeah, man. I get to hang out with my boy Templar. All right. Until then, we love you. I'm going to hit finish on this. Thanks so much for joining us on this ranting and raving episode. We're going to go cry. We love you. We'll see you later. Goodbye.